Everything you use, your phone, computer, gaming PC, and even AI systems, depends on tiny chips called semiconductors. They are like the brain inside every device. Without them, nothing works. But here's the crazy part. Only a few companies in the world can make the most advanced chips. Why are these tiny chips worth billions and control the tech world? Making chips is extremely hard. The factories cost billions of dollars, and the technology inside them is incredibly complex. A single mistake in the manufacturing process can ruin millions of chips. Because of this, only companies like TSMC, Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, and Samsung can make the most advanced chips today. If one of these factories stops working due to politics, disasters, or shortages, the world feels it instantly. Smartphones, computers, AI projects, and even gaming systems can slow down or stop. This is what makes these chips so powerful. Think about AI supercomputers or the next generation of smartphones. Every major innovation depends on these chips. The companies that control the chips essentially control the future of technology. Imagine billions of people depending on a few factories. One small disruption can create chaos in the tech world. We will see who these companies are, how they became so powerful, and why nobody else can easily compete. The world's most important chips are made by just a handful of companies. TSMC in Taiwan is the biggest, making chips for Apple, NVIDIA, and AMD. Intel in the US designs and makes its own CPUs. Samsung in South Korea makes memory chips and high-end processors. NVIDIA and AMD design the most powerful GPUs for AI, gaming, and servers. Why can't companies just switch to another chip maker if one fails? It's not that simple. Every company's technology is unique. A GPU designed by NVIDIA works best on TSMC's manufacturing lines. Switching factories would take years, cost billions, and risk mistakes. That's scarcity in action. The chips exist, but access is limited and expensive. Even smaller mistakes in production can delay entire product launches. That's why AMD and NVIDIA carefully pick which factories to use. These choices determine who wins in gaming, AI, and data centers. Think of a smartphone launch delayed for months, or AI servers waiting for critical chips, billions of dollars at stake. The companies that control these factories control which tech gets built first, fastest, and most reliably. That's why these few makers are so powerful. Next, we'll look at why producing chips is so difficult and how scarcity and supply chain problems make these companies almost untouchable. Making modern chips isn't just expensive, it's incredibly precise. Factories cost tens of billions of dollars, and chips are thinner than a human hair. One tiny mistake can ruin thousands of units. What happens if a factory shuts down or falls behind schedule? Supply chain issues have caused real-world problems. For example, a natural disaster, power outage, or political tension can halt production. That delays smartphones, gaming consoles, AI servers, and cars. Scarcity drives up prices and creates tension between companies and countries. Imagine a world where your favorite smartphone or your AI assistant stops being produced for months. Businesses lose millions and consumers wait endlessly. That's the real power of semiconductor scarcity. High information density. This scarcity is why NVIDIA charges more for high-end GPUs, even when AMD can make similar hardware. Access, reliability, and trust matter more than raw speed. With AI exploding, demand is skyrocketing. Companies are fighting to secure supply, and the next generation of chips will be even harder to make. In the next scene, we'll see how AI demand is making the chip war even more intense, and why controlling this market is now a global race. This is no longer just business. It's strategy. The United States has restricted advanced chip exports to China. Why? Because the most powerful chips are not just for gaming or AI tools. They're used in defense systems, supercomputers, and national security. What happens when technology becomes a weapon? China is investing billions to build its own chip ecosystem. The US is investing billions to bring manufacturing back home. Europe is doing the same. If countries start controlling chip supply like oil, global tech companies lose freedom. Imagine companies like Nvidia or AMD being forced to choose sides. The next decade won't just be about better GPUs. It will be about technological independence. Tiny chips, massive power. They run AI. They run economies. They shape global politics. And in the next decade, whoever controls silicon controls the future. If you found this valuable, subscribe because we break down power, business, and technology like this every week.